Hi everyone, we wanted to introduce you to our March campaign, Design Her In, which is focused in the engineering sector. For those of you who don't know, my name is Marie Hemingway. I'm one of the founders and directors of Speak Out Revolution.
And I'm Frances Holmes, the other founder and director of Speak Out Revolution.
So we've really struggled with producing this video because we're really terrible at producing videos. So I'm going to pseudo interview Frances on our campaign, and I'm going to start by asking Fran why the engineering sector is so important to you.
So for me, I've worked in the engineering sector for over a decade, and I find the work in this sector really rewarding and really interesting. And for me, I think it's essential that we have diversity across the whole sector to make truly innovative solutions going forward into our future.
Love it. And just to add, I've worked in the engineering sector for over a decade as well, with lots of voluntary work around improving gender equality, with a particular focus on the infrastructure sector. I'm one of the board members for the Women's Infrastructure Network. So I guess my next question, Fran, to you will be, what has really driven the Design Her In campaign?
So for me, looking across the engineering sector, there aren't a lot of women at the top of their field. And for me, when I look up at the top, I'd like to see somewhere that I can aspire to be. So there needs to be an effort put into getting women in the workforce and progressing throughout their career right to the top of all these industries and firms that we work across. And I think it's key, especially for me in the innovation side, to get that diversity of thought and the different experiences that women and men both bring to the sector to achieve what we need to in the future to drive real positive change.
And maybe I could ask you about the insights that you're seeing from the work that we're doing at Speak Out Revolution.
So we started to disaggregate our data by gender to give us an indication of the different challenges both genders face in the workplace. And there is a clear distinction between those experienced by men and women. So we're focusing on the women's side for this campaign. As it's something close to mine and Marie's heart, as women working in the engineering sector, we know there's challenges and we want to raise awareness of them and help solve those problems going forward that mean that women want to be in their career, be in the sector and progress.
Brilliant. And for anyone watching, they might be thinking, what kind of barriers are there for women working in the engineering sector? So we're really seeing that women do not have access to truly flexible working or part-time working arrangements. There are challenges around accessing appropriate facilities or equipment to help them do their jobs. No access to female toilets, no access to safe spaces to express breast milk on their return to work, no access to PPE, which is critical for lots of women working on the operational side of engineering. Anything to add to that, Fran?
Yes, as mentioned before, there's also not a high proportion of female representation on our leadership across our government bodies and also even on industry panels when we go to events.
Yes, I'm pretty passionate about all male panel events, which a lot of people will know about if they've read any of my articles. So I guess we'll move on to why do you think it's important for us to design her into the engineering sector? I know that you've touched on this, but maybe just give you an opportunity to answer that question again.
Yeah, the engineering sector delivers solutions to everyone, male, female, all different ages, genders and races. So we need to make sure that all those people are counted into that design process. You can't design if you're not factored in. And that's essential moving forward, that we have women there designing engineering to really derive the solutions that are required for that demographic.
Absolutely. And actually, one of the areas that I'm really passionate about with my background in the infrastructure sector is designing solutions not just for the able-bodied, but for people with living with disability and people with invisible disabilities, because we do not have representation or significant representation in the infrastructure sector. Often we're designing solutions for able-bodied people, which isn't the whole of society. So I guess I'll move on to Fran. What do we hope to achieve in this campaign?
So I would like for us to highlight the amazing talent that is across the industry, the people who are working there on the ground and driving our solutions for the future. And also highlight the barriers that we're facing. There are barriers that everyone knows, but there also are less discussed and more invisible barriers for women really progressing in their career, getting to the top and staying in the engineering firm, which is essential for us to drive those solutions.
And how are you going to do that in this campaign?
So in this campaign, we'd want to raise awareness of those barriers for people to speak out at the challenges they faced or why they've left the engineering sector, and also highlight the amazing talent that is still working in the sector and what they're doing, what solutions are they providing that we need in our everyday lives, and how we can't do it without that diversity of thought.
Absolutely. And part of that will be putting together a think tank to produce industry guidance on how to design Her In that all companies across the engineering sector can use, where we can highlight the real barriers that women face on the ground working in the engineering sector with clear best practice solutions from across all industries so that everyone can benefit from that document. So I guess just finally, Fran, how can people get involved?
So there's a number of ways getting involved. Obviously, all of our campaigns, we ask you to like and share our things on social media so it expands our network. But also introducing what you do as a female in the engineering domain and speak about the challenges you faced, raising awareness and getting that information out there, especially across the Speak Out survey, which is key for us to drive positive change in the sector. If you've experienced the negative behaviours or challenges, go and fill out the survey so we can really drive the positive change and highlight those issues.
Fantastic. So thanks so much for your time, Fran. I'll leave it with, if you're an advocate for gender equality working in the engineering sector, male or female, we'd love for you to get involved in our campaign. Please continue to read this page to understand how you can get involved. And we hope you'll support the Design Her In campaign. Thank you.